And it appears we are live. What's up, everybody? It's G Mr. Drew here to welcome you to another episode of the Andrew Glowczewski Experience. It's going to be episode 320. 320. And we are going to continue the Bayo study. Last stream, we just finished this super large um, sketch. And yeah, man, I really enjoyed it just because I'm able to get to all the details here, and I don't really have to go in and focus on them on a separate, on a separate video or separate study or anything else like that. I can kind of get everything I need done in just the large shot, and then, it minimizes the amount of opportunity to focus on something, uh, somewhere else on the page, but it almost doesn't really matter. Like this little witch time thing we've already studied in, one of the previous studies, so I don't need to jump into that. So there's only like little bits of detail that really need to be explored here. And nothing nothing too crazy. So yeah, it all works out. I guess there's always a balance to all this stuff. So this might be something that I do in the future, in if I feel it's necessary, anything like that, to kind of just draw one large sketch and then go in with a you know, not have to zoom in on so much. But there is a couple things I want to focus on. Kind of want to do zoom in on the neck. Don't know if I want to zoom in on the face and the layering and everything that's happening there. Um, in recent studies and, the ones that we've been doing lately from a couple pages ago and things like that, um, all these things, they've been more and more going in and involving her hair into the actual clothing. Let's focus. And on this one, I've been kind of racking my head around if the hair is actually getting involved with this veil that's happening, you know what I mean? Or if it's just a piece of fabric, or if it's her hair. Um, because there's so much going on as far as like the sleeves and how those are working with the veil replacing what would have normally been her hair. But we all know that her hair is a part of her suit eventually, so just don't know at what point we're at as far as like that sort of logic goes. So yeah, one thing I want to do is get the reverse side drawn. Um, so yeah, I'll probably just take up like these two squares down here just to draw the reverse end of her. I'll probably just sketch that in now and probably do at least spend this video probably focusing in on the I wonder, do I want to do that? Just focus on the head here, and then her neck and chest here, and then the bottom sketch down here. That might work out. I mean, that might be all I really want and need to do. Um, I just want to get the backside, probably without the veil, just so I can kind of make sense of what's happening with the sleeves here and what they're doing and things like that, and how that fits in with the overall suit and everything. So yeah, man, let's just jump into it, right? Where is my black pen? Where has my black pen gone?
Devin does a great job on the horse. I'm telling you, Andy, no one looks cool their first time. Keep at it, and you'll look cool.
Could it be? Alright, so I have my blue and red pen, but I'm looking for my black pen.
Yeah. I mean, you were riding with a cowboy hat. Yeah, well, I don't care about your brain. He told me, he says, give him that sword and a shield and you're ready to go, Dave. I don't think Vinny was.
Oh, is this it? Is it underneath my
The best was when
table,
he kept coming
desk?
into the middle and looking at us with the side eye. And he was like, are we done yet?
What is
He's a
this?
strong horse, but he's not used to
Oh,
it. You're
it's
20
my white
years.
marker.
He's lazy. He's like, what happened?
Where is my black pen? That's weird.
Darnamax
Alright, let me just
has a super chat for $5.
grab a new one.
Hello,
Give me a second.
I prefer to write and make original comics. If anything else, it's a short Alien series and off-world Batman.
Already running into technical difficulties off rip.
For sharing.
That inspires a lot. A lot of confidence to any sort of first-time viewer. If this is your first video watching. Alright, so brand new black pen. Let's see if this will work. Okay. Ink's flowing. Let's get going. So basically we're just drawing her from behind, the same pose, same everything.
MD Azat, I hope I probably said that wrong, has a super chat for $5, says watching. Apologies for the yawn. Does watching MMA help you in drawing fight scenes?
Yeah, actually, it can. It really does. One thing I would say is when somebody's actually fighting in MMA or any actual fighting, you stick an arm out, you keep your other hand in, and you want to protect yourself, and you don't want to just completely, you can't just punch and put your whole body into it, swing the other arm back, and then swing the other arm through. Like the way you'll see a fight scene in a movie, like a superhero movie, or really the action movie, is nothing like people would actually fight. It's all done much bigger. So bear that in mind, but a lot of the back and forth and combination, that kind of thing, you can do panel to panel and make it really work. But you do have to make it bigger. It really reads as more stiff if you draw a fight realistically. So somebody's just jabbing out with this. It doesn't really read as well for them. Mostly, truthfully, I just like MMA because I like MMA. Again,
Atomic Art super chat us for 99 cents. Tomic, do you have something to say? Thank you for the super chat, Tomic.
thank you.
What are your questions, Tomic? No, I'll read your questions. Here you go. Dan Meredith, you are the best. How do you draw a real face looking up? It's difficult.
Alright. Okay.
You super chatted for that, Dave.
Alright. Feel the pressure. Okay, so I'm gonna draw basically a three-quarter looking up.
Alright.
So here's my brow line, my
So
nose,
far so good.
my jaw, my forehead's gonna be here, and my chin will be just about here. Everything wraps around to where my ear will be just back here. And I want my jawline in front of the ear, back of the jaw, to not come all the way down here. It comes up below this line and above this one, so about halfway. And so I'm also now just going to draw a line through this. These all parallel basically like this. And so I'm going to make sure they're parallel the same way, and then that will connect there. And that's a really good way to make sure that you're not distorting your jaw. And so that's my basic form to lighten that down. And so this is my brow. And so I want to, just before I start drawing features, I'm going to draw as if this was a skull. And so there's my eye sockets.
There we
My
go.
nose is going to be here. And it projects out just like this. And my mouth is going to be about here. And it can be helpful, especially if you struggle with these kinds of angles, drawing a skull first. You wouldn't want to do this every time, obviously, just for time constraints, but this can be a very useful technique. And just for the mouth, for the teeth, just draw a line. And because of the angle, I tend to go just a little bit, this will be a little bit more narrow than this, so I bring it out a little bit, and I felt like that was a little short, so I'm going to bring this down just a little bit more, just to give myself the room that I need. And my ear is still right here. And my eyes are going to go inside those sockets. And so now with that, I'm going to go ahead
go.
Obvious on here. So
One
here's
gun,
my
two
eye.
gun,
I don't want to
three
draw
gun.
you're just looking at. I want to draw you look draw an eye that you're looking up at, and so the both lids are going to be curved this way, like this. And there's a reason for that. Well, let's just show you. So here's a ball. If you're looking up at the eyelid, it wraps around that ball like this. If you're looking down, obviously it will wrap like this. Just makes sense. So there's one eye. Another eye. I want to make sure that I have about an eye space in between, so my eye was a little small there. I know I'm going fast. Here's my brow, following along that line there. My nose is about here,
Three
so I don't want
gun,
to get in it.
four gun.
Here, so here's a nostril. I have a nostril. So there you go. And then for my mouth, I want the mouth to wrap downward. So I'm going to just give it basically that kind of a form here. This is going to be just a little bit foreshortened because you're looking up at it. My lower lip will be a little foreshortened, so it'll be a little thinner.
Okay.
And that should go
And don't want to get the veil or anything in there. Got her
like a smaller mouth on my
head wrap.
And now I just want to go ahead and finish the head form. And I can see that it's a little bit distorted. I could have dropped there, so I'm just correcting for that. And an ear, which, you know, nobody likes drawing ears. So there you go. There's a head that you're looking up at. Obviously, that's not the only angle that you can draw a head you're looking up at, but those are the basic concepts that will make it easier. Working with eye sockets, and then you draw an eye socket that you're looking down at, like this, and your eye would be up inside that much more. So your brow would be here. And here would be my other eye. So.
And yeah, her whole neck is gold. This is golden collar, which is what I want to kind of zoom in on. And her sleeves wrapping around her arm like her hair. Except it wraps around the front, so.
And your eye sits in a socket like this, and then you've got your jaw like this. And so when you're drawing an eye, you're drawing something that's sitting in a cavity like this. So you want to draw that eye inside that cavity, and then your brow is here. Right. And so it's making sure you're aware of the contours of your face, and that makes it much easier to do this.
Brett Jensen has a super chat for $5. Brett wants to know, David, do you sharpen the lead in your holder as you work, or just allow it to dull?
I sharpen it as I work. What I do is I turn it as much as I can. So I'm going to draw a couple more, and then I just turn my pencil a little bit, and that actually kind of gives me an edge that's not quite as dull, because you flat spot your pencil. And as you flat spot it, you'll find, like, I'll turn it again, and it'll give me a bit of a sharper line again. Eventually, I'll have to sharpen. So it is a feel thing. You can feel when it gets a little more dull, and you just eventually have to sharpen it. I'll just do that now. So for this, I use, this is just a lead pointer. That's too short. There we go.
Tomic super chat again for $1.99 saying thank you. Thank you is all I gotta say for this super chat.
Oh, well, you were very, very welcome. I hope that was helpful.
Michael Johnson Curry has a super chat for $4.99. Michael says, I've been studying as usual and noticed a lack of speed lines in BGs in modern art. Is this editorial or natural change to make art more realistic?
You know, I think that things kind of come and go in terms of how widely they're used. Like, what happens is a very popular artist will come along and they'll have a technique, and not only will other artists want to pick up that technique, but publishers also will want artists that emulate that technique because it sold and did well. So it's kind of, you know, things just seem to go that way. When Brian Hitch came along, he was doing widescreen, which all that is his panels were these big rectangles, and they looked like frames from a movie. And it was a very cinematic feel. And then all of a sudden, everything in comics went from panels that were, I don't want to say almost, well, much more often long vertical panels, and things went much more horizontal.
There we go.
Kind of movie form. format, and it's never really changed. I mean, he had a huge influence. I feel like I don't talk about Brian Hitch enough. I really should, because he is such an outrageously influential artist on the business, influential artist on other artists, but also just the way that comics are done, are expected to be done by fans, and I think the most influential artist on Marvel's cinematic universe. His art really, if you look at that book, it looks like the movies, and you can tell with the movies that they were using his work. And I feel like I don't know how much credit they give him, not enough. You know, only in the sense that you can never give him enough. I mean, you know, Marvel's great, and they are very good about acknowledging artists. So I don't want to give the sense that they don't, but I think he deserves so much credit. And I'm going on a total tangent, but there you go.
Right.
Oh, and speed lines, yeah, I love speed lines, and you know, effects that are more manga like. They had a real resurgence in popularity. I don't know. I don't want to say and
Go.
see how this is getting lost. We'll see how this turns out. I don't want to say when Joe Mad was doing X-Men, he had a huge manga influence, and it really started influencing the whole business. And it went that way for a little while, and then you know.
How do I want to do this?
And I haven't seen it.
Because she has this
More cartoony style and mainstream pop
really
style.
hidden, because it's black leather with these black flowers running down, kind of like as like buttons or something.
You know, I'm a huge fan. I think
Um,
just in general are a big fan of it, and it's proven to sell. And I love to see that.
down her torso.
Okay.
Right. And also
So I just wonder what's. Do
I
I want to like match that on this side,
Morris has a super chat for $52.
or if I just want to do something else, or nothing at all, you know?
So much, Lady Mary Death and Farmer Finch.
Eh.
Tommy says Finchlock is his hit.
1, 2,
Is
3,
his last
4.
official drawing of his
5.
52nd and is yours with his blessings.
Oh,
Aww.
well, thank you.
1.
God bless and happy Thanksgiving. Long live the flock. We're gonna do patch portraits. Patches portraits. Hashtag big love. Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Amy and Tom.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
He's gonna be 53. This is his last official drawing of his 52nd.
52.
Yeah. So nice.
He's an old man.
2.
So I'll have to send them our
I say that
address.
about anybody that's like seriously
Older than you. Yeah.
Anything more than 6 months older than you. Old.
It's only because you
2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again.
I'm gonna send us that picture so we can hang it.
Oh wow. That's very nice.
Very
Thank you.
sweet.
So
Very
1,
I really like it. It's a great picture.
2, 3, 4, and then 5. I'll be down there.
My screen lit. Waiter Shush has a super chat for $5. Hello, Finches. Hello from Singapore. Just saying hello and hi. I love the recent Copa coloring stream, Hater. Thanks, Hater.
Yeah, thank you very much, Hater. We will definitely be doing more of those. I've been talking to Eric. Actually, Eric and I are going to be drawing together tomorrow. We're going to do a bit of a drawing session. I'm going to do a cover, so we're mostly just I'm going to be drawing my cover. He's going to be working on his stuff. But we're going to be planning.
There we go.
I have been emailing back and forth. I'm like talking absurd, and I don't want to, you know.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna do it anyway because I'm so pumped about it. You know what? It's like the worst kind of promotion. You want to hold stuff back, right? But I've been talking to Chris Stevens, and I think that.
There we go. I guess since I'm kind of decided, like I'm gonna draw her face, a close up on her face here, like a profile almost, and then her neck and chest down here, like I'm kind of safe to just go ahead and work on this one, on this stream.
Alright.
And yeah, we'll just call this that stream.
I was just going back looking through Tom's art. Because it's not the first thing he's posted on the shop.
Oh, and I want to make another planning announcement. I can't make this as like an announcement because it's not worked out yet. But I want to do a watercolor stream with watercolor painting, and I'm
There we
very
go.
hoping that we can get Brian Selby.
Let's
talk to him a little bit.
get some of this stuff out of the way then, huh?
It seems like he
markers are all over the place.
He is incredible and
Give me a second here to clean up.
very you know, on it, and I'm going to try to do that as soon as we possibly can. Yeah, that's one. To be honest, I've been afraid to do that more than anything. I don't watercolor at all.
Yeah, let's get this
Ability to watercolor, so
dope
I'm
ass
really
color
afraid to do
here.
it, but
I feel like you and I had a conversation about this earlier today.
about me, Meredith's saying that I down what I do too much, and so I'm undermining my whatever. You know what? Too bad. I'm gonna keep doing it. Do what you want.
Just don't undermine yourself.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Just don't do that.
Alright.
That's all. That's all I'm saying. Have some pride in your accomplishments.
You know what the thing is though, Meredith? I'm a student of this. I think you have to be. And I am very aware of what I don't know and what I'm learning. And I want to be honest about that. You know, if that's undermining, I just don't care. I'll be a student of this until I can no longer draw.
Fair enough. Michael Knight has a super chat for $2. Michael says, wants to know what character is the most fun for you to draw.
Okay, I would say Moon Knight, unless I draw a lot of Moon Knight all at once. And then I want to do something different, and it's Batman. Unless I do a lot of Batman, you know. So basically, I've got favorites. I love drawing Spider-Man. I love drawing Captain America. I never do anymore. I'm a huge fan of Captain America. I drew so many Captain America sketches 15 years ago when I was drawing Avengers, and nobody ever asked for it anymore. So it's always kind of a shame. Wolverine, Lobo, I
Go.
never do enough. Actually, Lobo, I do not enough to the point where I don't really have a confidence to do more. As much as I love the character, I just haven't done it enough. He's clean, dark character. If the character has a sword, pretty much I'm going to want to draw him, you know, going in.
Alright. Rodin Fast has a super chat with 30 reals. Hello from Brazil. Thanks a lot for this night.
Thank you very much. And hello from Canada.
And then Thomas Gandy has a super chat for $2. Have you ever heard of Nen Chang, great watercolor art? Nenchang, Nen Chang.
All right, yeah, thank you. No, I haven't.
Dave, are you doing a book of the week
I
tonight?
am. Yeah, you ready?
Well, it's a little early. Still got 4 minutes. Allison Thomas wants to know if you have a TikTok. Dave doesn't even know what a TikTok is beyond the sound a clock makes. Am I wrong?
I know what a TikTok is.
You only know what a TikTok is because Hayden does TikToks. And then he sends us his awesome TikToks. Our oldest has a private TikTok account because he's got some special needs, but I'm telling you,
He loves doing them.
he loves doing them. They are the best, but nobody's putting them out for anybody to see because
It wouldn't be
just-
fair to him
it wouldn't be fair to Hayden.
because
yeah.
he wouldn't know.
Yeah, he's just living his life. But they are awesome for his family. I watch them when I feel sad. Perks me up. Hayden TikTok never fails to bring a smile to my face. His last one with his girlfriend, oh my gosh, was the best. He doesn't actually have a girlfriend, but he thinks his staff is his girlfriend.
Oh, that's great.
Tyler James has a super chat for $5. Love the streams, David. Your anatomy is very inspiring. Can you name a handful of specifically comic or graphic novels for anatomy?
Yes. My book was up 2 weeks ago. It's still on my desk, so I'll show you again. This is Slain. It's not even book of the week time, but whatever. This is Slain by Glenn Fabry. This is a phenomenal, phenomenal book. And I showed it, so I'm not going to go through the whole book again, but the whole book is really, truly amazing. Look at that. It's hard to beat that. And anything you can find from Glenn Fabry, I really, really recommend. He's a great artist to look at for anatomy. And there's a lot of really good stuff that you can find from his. So Glenn Fabry, definitely recommend. Frank Rosetta is great. There's so many, like I love Kevin Nolan. His anatomy can be a little bit more difficult to understand because of the way that he lights. Generally, it's lit with a double light source. I love it. I would recommend you stick with somebody that does something a little bit more like Glenn Fabry. it's a start where it's a little bit more just structured, single light source. It makes it easier. I'll think about it a little bit, but yeah, off the top of my head, those are really big ones for me. Actually, you know what? Another one. Here's one. I was thinking about doing this as a book of the week. This isn't the book of the week, but I have it on my desk.
Well, why don't we do the book?
Okay, we'll do the book of the week. But
Well,
yeah,
I gotta reach the.
joke
You
aside.
put it so far away from me, I can't reach the soundboard. Do it on purpose.
Yeah, I really recommend it. All right. So this is Prince Valiant by Hal Foster. There are tons. This is volume 13. This was a newspaper strip. He did this once a week, and this is actually just one panel. Well, he never really did covers because that wasn't really what they were doing. But this would be a 1 week strip, and these were done. Well, this says 47, so 1947. I'm not sure exactly what the overall time frame that he did these in, but you know, it was years and years and years, and every week is absolutely amazing. All of them, folds and cloths, and clothes are really great and great for reference. This kind of stuff here has got a forest, and it just looks real, but when you look at it, it's really drawn. It's all lines, and everything is very plotted out and realized. And seeing these kinds of backgrounds done this way, very, very influential for me, not just me, but for a lot of artists. And I think he doesn't really get the kind of recognition nowadays that I wish he did. It's more of a same kind of
Do I
style.
even need to put in any
Yeah,
dark
and you
green
see
yet?
some very
I don't think I'm
creative,
there.
very, very well done.
Really don't
Lighting's
have any dark
beautiful,
green to
but
put
some of
in
the
just
captions are
yet.
really in your face, and that's the stuff that I love too. Real high energy kind of comic art, but this is it's an older style. It's really done in more of an illustration kind of a style, but beautifully drawn for a comic. And there are, I actually don't even know just how many of these books there are. And actually, I just got these back.
Okay.
I had lent these to G. Paplock.
And where am I at with
He
these?
just came back. We went to Toronto together and brought them. We met in the car, so I've gotten them back. So yeah, pretty excited actually about doing these. So he's got a waterfall. This is like a dam with some cut trees and so much of the stuff. Well, just look at the water and the reflections in the water. And this is a very, very difficult thing to do. It makes it look so easy, and it is easy if you really know what you're doing. This one is beautiful. The lighting on it looks incredible. As I'm looking at this, I realize I'm just not looking at it enough. I should really be getting back to this. It's really, really amazingly done, and especially so because when he did this book, there really wasn't this kind of work out there. He didn't really have a template for this. This kind of illustration just didn't really exist that much. I mean, obviously there are other examples of really beautiful illustration, but he didn't have the amount of things to fall back on that we do now. And I have to wonder, he must have gone around with a camera and taking photographs all over the place. The amount of research that would have went into doing this kind of work is amazing. Like this shot here, it's photographic, but he wouldn't have had a photograph of that to go on. I don't know how he would have done this. Here he's constructing this whole tent. It's really, truly an amazing book. And they also all, he goes all over the place. So this one is very native focused, and other ones are, he's got some kind of, more of a Viking thing here, but it goes all over the place. And so all sorts of different backgrounds from everywhere. Really amazing stuff. Huge props.
All right.
Really cool. So yeah, Hal Foster, and this is Prince Valiant. You should be able to find these. He's also a large format book too, which is great. These were drawn actually at a very large size. So yeah, I think there's so many things that are done here.
So crazy working back at this size when I've been after working at this larger size, and what I'm able to do with the brush strokes and everything there with the techniques and all that. And then having to go back to this, I was like, oh man, I've been extremely limiting myself, knowingly, but you know, working on it back to back really puts it into perspective, you know.
Obviously, there are 1 through 13, and I think into the 20s for sure. Anyway, a lot of these books really, really amazing. So, highly recommend that you find these.
Sorry, when you announce the book and the author,
Yes.
that's like your way of telling me you're done.
Oh.
So then I start playing music, and then you keep talking.
Oh, so you play music over the top?
Because I'm like, okay, he's done, because you say it in a I'm done sort of tone of voice. So, don't do that.
All right. There you go.
JDSCT is a super chat for $5. Props to Isaac for the suggestion. This is looking great.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I thought it was a great idea. I really liked it, and it's different. It's not something that's really appeared anywhere, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to just see what I can do with it. I do feel like I'm falling down a little bit on the symbol. I don't know that it's gonna work how I want it to work, so I might have to think about it a little bit. I've got another hour. Keep thinking.
Samuel Reyes has a super chat for $5. At David Finch, watercolor by Shibasaki has good for beginner videos on YouTube. I used to learn for learning watercolor. And then any tips for drawing skinny but strong people? Shibasaki is SHIB.
SHIB.
ASAKI.
All right, thank you. Skinny but strong people. Yeah, well, okay, so, a normal arm I would draw, let's say, here's an arm.
All right. Do we got everything? Pretty much.
So there's basically, your
All
general
right.
superhero sort of arm. It's got some good size to it. If I wanted to draw
Oh,
something
sorry about
skinny,
that.
what I would do is I would do the same thing. I'm just going to start with a much thinner tube.
Let's get our main.
So there you go. It's much thinner. And move on my shoulder here. And it's going to be smaller. Draw my bicep. I really want to cut that bicep a lot and make things a little bit more angular. So that's going to really angle out and be very cut. My elbow's going to really kind of project a little bit. Still want to make this muscle fairly prominent. It's all on a smaller, thinner frame, but doing the proper angles can really help with making it look still very powerful. So it's going a little bit more angular, and you just want to just start with a smaller framework to begin with, but then don't go soft. So that's really all there is to it, and it's the same for legs. I mean, a muscular leg that's very thin can still look pretty powerful. I'm just gonna really accentuate all my shapes. And make sure that everything looks very angular. So it's very thin leg, thinner than I would normally draw, but it can look very powerful as long as you make sure to really accentuate and make your anatomy angular. That's about the best that I can describe.
Thank you. Apparently, people like my singing. And Genovese, Meredith didn't sing. Said B, wow, Meredith didn't sing. Kenny Wang, Meredith didn't sing. Unsubscribe. Just kidding. Sorry, guys. I'm not tired tonight.
Is that why?
Yeah, I just feel a little bit under the weather. Not 100%. I had a nap this afternoon too. So
Maybe that's why.
maybe sometimes it knocks you out. Maybe they're dehydrated. Andy Comics Cast says, it's good to see Dave on a horse. It's a process. Look forward forward to seeing a video come on trail ride soon. You know what? All I see when I see that horse, when I see you riding the horse, I don't see you. I see my poor horse and his back, which is just like slightly swayed.
My back or the horse?
His back, because he's like, I'm not used to carrying this much person.
Yeah, a little heavier than you are.
Yeah.
I need a draft horse.
No, you'd be fine. It's just what they're used to. They develop the muscle to carry what they carry. You know what I mean? Greg Al Static Art has a super chat for $2. I can't believe I'm missing this.
What?
You must be at work.
Oh, Greg Al.
And Brad Scott Art has a super chat for $10. Dave, are you familiar with Boris Vallejo's book Bodies? Adult content, but great reference for an outie. Book is a little hard to get these days. And why do I feel like Miss Meredith is in a rush tonight? I don't feel like I've rushed you tonight, have I?
No, but you definitely, well, you said you're not feeling really the best. And
I'm not. Maybe because I'm not as like caffeinated.
Yeah.
As I normally am.
Not as high energy.
Right.
Bodies.
There we go.
I'm not sure, but I do have a Boris Vallejo. It's, I don't know what the name of it is actually, but it really breaks down his whole process. It's a really amazing book. It might be called Bodies actually. That might be the book. I'm just not sure. But yeah, I'm certainly familiar, obviously, with Boris Vallejo. If I don't have that book, I really should get it. I've got so much of his stuff saved too. I'm pressing so hard right now. This is part of the problem with me using a pencil. This is why I've got tape wrapped around my pencil. When I use a pencil, I press so much harder.
Samuel Reyes has another super chat for $2. Very helpful with the skinny strong people. Thanks. I mean, to be fair, it's after 9. I am allowed to yawn now.
Right.
Alkin says, Dave needs another iron horse. And so KF says, that's why I don't ride horses. LOL. I'm way too large of a person. My feet may touch the ground while on the horse. Yeah. Your feet would touch the ground on some of my horses.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Jenny F has a super chat for $10. Jenny says, tips for drawing a cat punch with claws out, coming directly at the viewer like super cat punch. I have issues with the claws. Thanks for all the tutorials.
Oh.
Badoo, badoo, badoo. I'm making up for not singing during book of the week. Badoo, 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 badoo. I can't use anything that has any kind of tune, so we don't get copyright strike.
So this is Claire Wendling.
There we go.
Never has a little nudity on. There's nudity throughout the book, so I'm being a little bit careful.
Oh wait, he's looking at a animal book.
You can find Claire Wendling. It's Wendling, Claire, and she draws horses.
Oh, okay. This isn't the person then.
Like animals, beautifully, incredibly, people too, by the way. And you can see she's really, really amazing. We actually did a study stream with Claire Wendling over the summer, and if you want to know how to draw cats and get a good sense of how to sketch them and what lines.
Give me a second.
You cannot possibly do that with these close up right here. I know they're not kind of coming out at you, but this to you now. See, I'm trying to find one where it's coming out at you. See, it's gonna be in here. I mean, look at how great these ones are. Okay, here we go. We're getting a little closer. And now we're moving away from cats. Okay, I'm gonna look at this and I'm gonna give this a shot. because the truth is that this is not within my skill set. Figure out where to put this book. Okay. Got too much stuff on my desk. Trying to find a spot for this thing. All right, so I'm looking at this one here, and kind of some of it's a little off the page. I'm gonna move it in here. So the claw itself, it looks like it kind of takes this shape, and then the claw sits
Hmm.
on here like this. And so if I had the claw kind of coming out at me, I would
Oh well. Damn. I was trying to see if this person that he's looking at, if I can get my hands on that animal art book, but this isn't the artist that had the most impressive horses and cats that I've ever seen. Oh well. Where was I? What have we got? Red. Oh yeah, I need to get some of that pink, purple, and blue. Sorry about that.
Online. But that was kind of my attempt, and I think honestly that would be kind of enough to get away with. So there's a hand coming out at you like that. But you know what knowledge I have of how to do this entirely from Claire London, I really recommend. And you can find actually most of her stuff, a lot of these pictures, just online if you type her name in. I really recommend it. And give a shot to sketching some of these things. It will make your animal drawing, or really whatever you look at for her, it'll make it much stronger. Because the truth is, for me to just say, okay, here's how you draw this one exact thing, it's really not as useful as going through and really studying just a lot of these incredible clothing forms that she does. So that's what I would recommend. I wish I could help more directly and say, okay, here's how I would exactly draw a cat claw, but I don't draw cats. Not enough to be able to really help as much as I'd like to. And I'm trying to go through the book without. There's a lot of nudity.
There we go.
And I'm sure for most of you that it's not a problem. I mean, it's all drawing nudity. It's very tasteful, but you know. Okay. Little one thing.
But we are a G-rated show.
We try to be, for sure.
We certainly try. Alright, Jenny F said, first has another super chat for $5. Thanks, Dave. I watched the study of Wendling. You did great stuff. Thank you. You awesome cause.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad. And I do.
Oh man, this blue brush is kind of dry.
I feel like we really
I just haven't squeezed any ink out of it, I guess. I was like, why is it looking kind of funny?
I think the thing
It's not hitting where I need it to hit.
One of the things that she does so well.
Did you do the cover of the book? No, there was nudity on it, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't. Navy Shark says a super chat for $50 US. Navy Shark says, hello, Finch Flock. Much love to you all and happy Thanksgiving to those who celebrate it. Is it Thanksgiving this week? I think it is American Thanksgiving this week. So we wish all of our American friends happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's easy to forget.
And thank you so much. Yeah. And thank you so much for the super chat, Navy Sharks.
Yes, thank you very much.
So kind.
And yes, also happy Thanksgiving.
And since you just did a cat claw tutorial, and Henry just asked us about the new cat, we can tell the new cat story, because now we have two. And I did tell Dave, remember, I think a few weeks ago I was telling you guys that we found a cat outside.
Oh, this would have been the dark brown. Hold on.
Well, now, after weeks of work, that
There we go.
little squish ball is upstairs sleeping on the couch.
And such a nice cat.
Oops.
She's so grateful to be in the house and to be loved and fed and regularly. And her name is Princess, although I have a feeling that might be an ironic kind of name because she is sassy. She's not maybe 3 months. Like, she's a kitten.
Yes,
Like, if Stormy is 6 months old and she's half his size, she's 3 months. She's got like her little needle kitten claws. I think I posted a picture of her on the Finch Walk page. So
All right.
You did. I
Now,
for the last 2 nights I've been trying to sleep, and that cat lays up against me and goes like this into me, into my neck, into my back. Oh,
I told Dave that's how cats get mama cats to let their milk down. They need them.
so the cat is milking me.
It's, she's very cute.
Freaking my life. I think I need to.
She and Stormy did have like some throwdown showdowns over the last couple days. And when I came down here, he was actually sitting on the couch beside me, and she was relegated to the chair.
Oh, so he won that one.
He did. He's been taking his spot back. Ruby RBY WPN says rescue cats are so loving, and they are. They really are.
Yeah, well,
Because they're just grateful.
They're both rescue cats.
Stormy's not really though.
Well, we got Stormy from the police side.
Yeah, but a rescue cat is like a cat that was living life on the land.
Yeah, Stormy was going to be.
Yes. Whereas Patches also was a rescue cat.
Yeah, another cat living outside.
Yeah. That's why she was always such a sweet cat. She's just so grateful to have us.
Yeah, you can open the door and she would just stand there and look at us. Are
She's
you kidding me?
Thank you. Been there, done that. Dan Genovese has a super chat for $5. Yes, it's a Thanksgiving in America this Thursday, and I'm thankful for the stream
huh?
and the community.
Man, this is getting real leaky. Look how bad it's bleeding into the page. Oh well.
Jim Klein has a super chat for $10. Aaron Blaze is another great reference for animals. He was an animator on The Lion King and directed Brother Bear and has lots of lessons.
Aaron
Dave.
Blaze.
Website.
Oh, there you go.
With tutorials. Yeah, Aaron Bleeds. You can just type his name in, find his website, and there are tons of really very great, professionally done tutorials like that. I definitely recommend. I should have said that actually. Aaron Bleeds.
And are there any general tips on cybernetic body parts and joints?
Thinking.
Nope, that's not him either.
Okay.
Oh well.
All right. So, I'm gonna draw an elbow, and it really depends on what you want to do, you know. But you can draw something like this, and then have like a team come around. It's fun. The detail. A lot of it's like regal, really. Strictly speaking, it's not really even doing anything, or at least you don't have to fully understand what it's doing. At least I don't fully understand. And I'm sure that there's some.
Have this coming off like a couple of
that really,
wings.
so I really like to just give them some armor plating, because that really, and I can just put that over some of this stuff underneath, and it just becomes detail. But you need just enough to be able to kind of, give you the illusion that you have mechanical parts going on in there. And tubes are always great because they can give you a bit more of an organic feel, and still be mechanical. And it just comes down to detail. There are some really great artists that do this kind of thing. I would recommend looking at some of that too. This one, I don't even have so much recommendation. It's just type in like Cyborg, and you'll find all kinds of great designs from video game artists. I mean, there's incredible stuff like this out there. So for me, when I do it, I kind of have a shorthand, and it's something basically along those kinds of lines, and it doesn't really, like I've got a joint here with the tube coming in here and the tube coming in out here, and everything else is just say, but I feel like it's another question where there's really no right answer for this kind of thing. But if you can work well with negative space, and by negative space, I just mean I'm drawing all the shadows in here. So like I'll draw a stick here and a stick here, and another one here.
Here stick, there stick.
Right. And I'm going to shadow this way. So shadow along this stick here, this one here,
Everywhere stick, stick.
here's another one, and then shadow over this one here. So it's a little thicker. What I'm doing is just drawing. We can call that like negative space, but you can get so much layering just by doing this kind of thing. That's really what I'm doing with all these other shapes in there. That's about how I approach it.
Dave, do you have another tutorial coming up soon?
I do. I've got a couple of things.
Sid B wants to know.
Yes, I do. I have a very in-depth whole.
Man, this one's so bleedy.
Oh, okay. Well, I've got a couple of things. I have how to render and how to start simple and go more complex. That'll be out within a couple of days. And then for lessons on my website and for more in-depth sale kinds of things, I've got how to draw cover, start to finish, a bunch of different designs, and picking a design and really taking it all the way through. I also have with Jimmy Reyes coming up fairly soon. He's going to be inking a piece over me. He's going to do it traditionally and digitally, and that'll be available once we get it finished.
Barbarian says, I've seen Princess pictures on the vlog page. She's so cute. But then Hannah Jeremick's like, Meredith, seriously Stormy and Princess, not Pantera and Dormammu?
But you know what? Princess wasn't a name that anyone picked. Meredith just started calling the cat Princess.
When I'm outside feeding it, I'm like, come on, Princess.
Right, and so there you go. Yeah, it was never named Princess.
No, there's no discussion in the house. They got told. But to be fair, they named Stormy. So.
And Stormy is named after Storm.
There you go. Stormy. Storm.
Dormammu. That is a cool name for a cat, though.
Nobody's out there going, Dormammu. Johnny D is, I'm just going to steer us in a different direction with Johnny D's super chat. Saved by the Bell. In support of the flock. Thank you, Johnny D. By the way, Dave, Meredith, do you have any favorite novels? Not counting graphic novels.
My favorite novels right now are The Chronicles of Risk. I said this actually a little while ago, but they're what I'm reading right now. It's a Dungeons and Dragons Forgotten Realms series by R.A. Salvatore, and they are really good. So yeah, they're great. And then
I like the James Harriet. I'm kind of just enjoying them right now. It shouldn't happen to a vet series.
I'm sorry, the James Harriet.
Yes.
It shouldn't happen to a vet.
Yes.
Like a veterinarian.
Yes. They're like, you've never heard of them. That's all right.
Especially
Well, it's like Dr. Pole, set in the British countryside back like around the time of the Second World War. It's hilarious. I mean, maybe you gotta appreciate farm life to enjoy them, but you might actually enjoy them. You never know. You're like, not ever gonna happen. Anya Dreffel has a super chat. Fight is suspended as a result of Anya and her super chat for $5. If you were a starting artist, would you recommend trying to do pitches mainly, or like apply to anthologies or anything you can get into?
Well, I think it's all anthologies and getting into what you can get to is good. I think you're a starting artist.
My brush is hitting the camera armature,
So
messing up my flow.
if you want to get your stuff out there, then sure. But if you want to get ripped off, and to be honest, when you're working, you're not getting paid. it's not fair to say for dogs, but you know, so many projects people just don't have the money to be able to pay, and it's unfortunate. And I wouldn't want to say that we're doing off because they're not, and especially if they're coming in and being honest. But that's a choice you have to make. Is that what you want to do? I um,
Speaking of getting paid, I just want to say thank you to anybody on the block who supported the Fantastics Kickstarter run by Cave Pictures Publishing because they were funded.
oh really? Wow,
So
congratulations.
I do think if you missed your chance to get a copy of Fantastics, written by me, illustrated by Christine Norrie and Andrew Pepoy. I said that wrong. But I think they're doing an indie program too. So. And there's some awesome like get a page from Andrew kind of options. So very cool.
And by pitching, I'm not totally sure what you need. I know that people will look for art stuff and if they want to look on Facebook and reference on that. I definitely recommend that you respond to those and present your artwork, and you can find some really great opportunities that way. Conventions are great; they're starting to come back. I think looks like I'll be able to go into the States at the end of this month. I'll be able to go in without having to get a COVID test. Now I'm vaccinated; you have to be vaccinated first. Well, I'm talking about if you're coming in from Canada, but I wouldn't have the risk of. I'm just talking about.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have the risk of being stuck in the States. So I'm personally looking forward to shows, and I would say if you're looking for work, there's really no better place than shows. You kind of have to watch out because a lot of people can be very full of it, and you have to protect yourself, but it can be very consistent.
Ever just sent me a picture of what he wants for Christmas.
Snowboard.
Yes. We live in Essex County, which might rival Kansas
For flat. Yes.
for flat.
Yeah, you have to drive 4 hours at least just to get manufactured hills.
Yeah.
But he wants a snowboard. I knew what he wanted because he told me, and I said that's the dumbest gift idea of all time.
Yeah.
Nicely. And then he started talking about his younger brother, who actually I'm drawing this for right now, and all the dumb things that he asked for, like V-Bucks for Fortnite. And I said, all right, fair enough. Snowboard, go nuts.
It's the worst when you have a logical kid.
Yeah. Maybe that's being called out.
Yeah, nobody does. Especially when you're a parent. Dennis Kelly says, yes, David shows in the States.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Meredith Fincher of the Space Needle. That's Dallas, right?
I think that's Seattle.
Oh. What do I know about the States?
When was the last time you've been to Seattle? What about for me?
Have I been to Seattle?
I'm sure you have.
I don't think I have. I've been to Portland.
Portland? Yeah, Seattle is a phenomenal show. Portland's a good show. They've always been very good to us.
I don't think I've been to Seattle ever. You had a life before me. Hard as it is to believe.
That's a long time ago now.
Greg Al, Static Art, has a super chat for $5. Did you come for this concept or is this a thing? Kind of reminds me of the Miles Morales Spider-Man Captain America.
There's a Miles Morales Spider-Man Captain America? Dang it. Okay, well, in my defense, I wasn't, not that I would have been against looking at it though, but I was not aware of that. This one is what my youngest son wanted for all, he probably actually saw the Miles Morales one, and that's what because he's a much bigger Miles Morales fan than he is a Peter Parker fan. That's probably what he wanted. He's going to like, what did you draw?
Nice fine. Dennis Kelly tells me Seattle, yes. And then final Cutter says, he's dead serious. V-Bucks, Christmas, great. And then Russ Hicks says, Roblox has made me broke.
Yeah, we bought some
Roblox, yeah.
Roblox. Done that too.
Fortnite skins, yeah. Oh my gosh. The amount of money you can spend on literally nothing.
Yeah. Oh well. You want to talk about spending money on nothing? Just you wait.
Dave?
Okay, so
Is this your time at farming
simulator.
simulator? Somebody else who spends money on nothing?
2022 just came out. I just played a little bit today, and it's great so far. I got my tracker stuff, so I stopped, and I was gonna load back in, but then we had to. But anyway, it's great so far. That's actually not what I was talking about. So
Oh, this
we got
marker is
nothing.
finally
Went to Toronto.
doing what it,
The entire time, no, not the entire time, but a good portion of the time, talking
what I've
about
been missing it to do. Oh man.
what's bugging me. Wrong, right? Talking about Star Citizen. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with Star Citizen, but yeah, we were talking about Star Citizen a whole bunch. And so in Star Citizen, what it is, Meredith, it's this persistent online universe where and it's still in alpha, so it's like crowdfunding, and it's this beautiful, incredible game, it's crazy, and you have ships you fly around and you can drop off packages and whatever, but it's amazing. Anyway, you can spend if you want, you can spend $1,000 on a ship for real, like 1,000 actual dollars, like real money, which is what I want to do, obviously.
So that's a game you're not playing.
Uh,
Right.
well,
Johnny,
you know what I'm not doing? I'm not spending $1,000.
Johnny D has a super chat for $5. Johnny D says, I also read the Drizzt novels, is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Who's your favorite character minus Wolfgar? Do you have a particular favorite book or book saga from it?
So far, my favorite ones. Well, okay, I'm not going to think of the names, but they're the ones where and they're not the first ones that came out, but they are his origin. And so he's a dark elf, and he starts out in the dark elf underworld, and it is.
Oh, what? Did I just lose connection? Oh, my YouTube. What's going on? I love it when this happens. Give me a second. Let me try to get this back up. That was a live stream, man. Don't want to miss the live stream. Homie's in the middle of talking about his favorite whatever.
There is so much to that game already, and it is so beautiful and so realized. There's so much going on with it. It is not a scam. It's not fair enough, but I don't think it's as powerful personally. Having played it.
Color with Kurt has a super chat for $5. Kurt says, I'm a colorist and I'd love to color this on my stream. Spidey is my favorite, but if not, no sweat. Keep up the great videos. We've already looked into letting other people color your stuff, but we'll discuss it.
Oh no. Color with Kurt, absolutely 100%. I am so in, and thank you very much.
You obviously know who Color with
yes,
Kurt is.
absolutely. He's got a YouTube channel, and he's phenomenal.
Okay, well then he can just go to your website and send us a message to the
Okay,
website.
yeah, if you wouldn't mind, if you could do that, just go. It's davidfinchart@gmail.com. I think you can actually find it on my YouTube channel too. It's if you go under about and email me there, and yeah, that would be incredible. I would really be thrilled. So yes,
there
thank
you go. What do I know about
That's awesome.
Macao Church has a super chat for $10. Hey Dave, I'm so thankful that you make these streams.
Oh, that's right. I never got her gloves.
Awesome. Question: what is the composition you would use for an X-Men mural with about 5 X-Men plus Magneto?
Okay, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to read that one again.
He wants composition for an X-Men mural with 5 X-Men plus Magneto.
Okay, let's do this quick. These are some of my favorite kinds of things to lay out, and this is actually a lot of what I want to talk about in the how to do a cover. So I'm just going to do a box, and I'm going to do this very small. And so there's my cover. And I want to think in terms of pretty simple shapes just to start, but I know that I've got 5 X-Men, so that's going to be a group of about 5 characters, and then I've got Magneto. Now I could draw, for instance, I could draw Magneto at the bottom of the picture. You know, here he is, and his hands are out into the picture. You know, but that's not a very good cut. And then the X-Men would be all up here. Nobody wants to see that because you're looking at his back. I really wouldn't recommend that. You could also, I mean, there are other ways you can do it. Let me draw Magneto. Here he is. Here's his shoulder. You know, he's got a hand here. It's the worst drawing in the world, but you know what I mean? And he's kind of surrounding them here, and then I would draw the group of them here. Again, not a great cover. But, oh, I shouldn't say that. It can be great, but it's not really the approach I would take. My favorite approach for these kinds of covers, and there's so many ways you can do it, but all I can do when I do covers, I have an image that pops into my head right away, and let's go with it. Truthfully, I mean, it's terrible that way, but I know what I would do is I would draw, okay, so I've got my central X-Men character, and they're running out toward me, so I'm going to draw, here he is, arms are out, and then another one up here, and I'm just kind of roughing them in, and so what I want to do is cluster them into a cluster, and, you know, there's another one here, and my drawing, I know, was the worst way, but the point is that they all have to fit into this kind of space, and once I kind of have something really simple and crappy like that, then I can go in and start to actually work with these figures. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a huge Magneto, and he's looking down at them, and, you know, here he is, and he's all downlit, and maybe I'll put his hands up, you know. That's the image that kind of popped into my head first. Anyway, here's his hands really big, something like this. That's what popped into my head, and that's kind of the worst, I know. But that could be a cool cover if I actually had, you know, if I could flesh that out a little bit. So that's an idea. Maybe another way to go. I know, but so let me draw. Let's do Magneto. Things like this. That's how it. I'm gonna draw his hand. He's, you know, got some energy coming off of it, and he's got this big sneer on his face. And again, a terrible drawing, but that's not the point. And then I would draw all my characters kind of the same way. You know what I mean? But it's a bit of a different Magneto. I still like this though because I like that center kind of everything shooting out from maybe a point kind of like this, and it feels.
Yo,
like
my armature is getting in the way of drawing on this side of the paper.
That could also work.
Oh,
really,
so disturbing, man. You know, that because the trick to working with these brushes is to be able to get a certain angles of brush strokes, you know? And when you can't get those angles, it's like it looks like a mistake, you know?
Alright, and Peyton Turner has a super chat of $4.99.
When people see that, they're like, "Oh, you're not an artist. Look at you making mistakes." And I'll be like, "No, I'm being outed as the fraud."
I would go with. There are so many ways to go. These are terrible layouts, but I had to do these fast and then but that's kind of what I would do.
Okay.
Off the top of my head.
Peyton Turner, super chat for $4.99. Peyton wants to know, who is your favorite artist and or inspiration for Batman?
My biggest inspiration for Batman is, there are a few. It's really difficult for me to just say one artist, but Kelly Jones is a huge, huge inspiration for me. Bill Sienkiewicz, who's only ever done a little bit, but what he has done has been really big for me. I hate to say it because we worked on Batman around the same time, so I'm jealous. But Greg Capullo is a really big one for me. I'm very influenced, not just by his Batman, but by the way he drew everything. So, you know, I'd be lying if I said that was a big influence for me. As much as it pains me because I'm competitive, you know. Jim Lee, for sure. I mean, Batman is really a very iconic, powerful look. Frank Miller. I can't just say one artist. It's just too difficult. Batman is one of those characters like X-Men. I mean, I could say Wolverine, Mark Silvestri. You because he's my old boss. He's the artist that made me want to draw comics. I'm very biased. But for most characters, like Wolverine, there are so many incredible artists that have done them over the years that do interesting versions, and you can pick the pieces from each one. So for me to pick one is impossible.
Okay. Next super chat comes from Amy Morris for $5. Amy says, Farmer Finch, R.A. Salvatore sent us his first Drizzt books during Desert Storm. Met him Veterans Day years later and thanked him. Great, great guy.
That's great. Yeah, it's somebody I would love to meet. I don't, what would you say? What would you say? It's like Stephen King. I don't know what to say to him. I love your stories. Which is fine, right, to say that, because I would mean it. But I wouldn't know what to say to him. That would be...
So right now, for your wife and all those teenagers who are watching this on a school night, it's 9:45.
Yes.
10 o'clock?
And that's the place that hard.
You know what?
I thought this was a little quicker, but
You've been a lot of tutorials.
yeah, actually, it's a great tutorial. And also, I'm really grateful. I haven't penciled as much, and I'm really penciling great.
I wonder if I lost that pen or just misplaced it. I mean, when I was putting together the shopping list for grocery shopping, it's probably just sitting in the kitchen or something.
Mom was saying, Alan, it's bedtime.
Almost.
So I'm going to post some more pictures of Stormy and Princess. Everett took the funniest video of, I don't know what Stormy was doing in the basement. He's always hanging out down here with the boys, but like run up the wall trying to jump on the windowsill.
Remember what I said about cat pictures a week ago?
What'd you say?
Only people that only cat care about their cat pictures.
I don't think so.
It's true.
Huh? The flock likes the cat.
Look at my cat. It's so cute. It's like, okay. It's really lovely when there's a beautiful one.
You're so mean. So this isn't actually like a Spider-Man that's in the show.
No. No.
It's Spider-Man. If Spider-Man was Captain America. Alright, JDSCT says, Meredith Finch, time to tell the chat to hit the like button. You are right. Normally I do it by now. Alright, people. We've got 544 likes. I know we'll get 600 before Dave's done. We might even get 7, so let's go for it. Let's do this thing. And if you have not already subscribed, then you want to be one of the 203,000 people who like Dave. You like Dave. You like Mike. Like Dave.
Yeah, be like me on a horse. That's what everybody wants.
No, be like Mike, like Dave. Like Mikey, he likes it.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Not everybody does. That's as Isaac would say, that's a boomer talking. And I'm not even a boomer.
No,
But-
boomers.
No, we're not.
If you're older than the person calling you a boomer, you're a boomer. That's how it works now. You don't
Yeah.
need to be a boomer.
We're not actually a boomer. I'm like that. My parents are boomers. I'm not.
Yeah, they're the actual.
They're the
legit
actual
boomers.
All right. Next super chat comes from best name I can think of for 499. How do you say saying with repetitive details like the scales?
I enjoy it, which I know is a little crazy, but when I'm here to be totally honest, I don't enjoy it as much because I'm very conscious about the fact that they take a little while and everyone's watching me draw scales. But on my own, I just zone out, and I'm just enjoying doing it. Okay, so
Zoning out and enjoying it. Welcome to my stream.
Jim Klein has a super chat for $10. Jim says, Dave, for a game that will scratch the same itch as Star Citizen but isn't expensive, try Elite Dangerous. For ridiculous money spent on a game, see EVE Online's Massacre at M2XFE. Real world cost about $378K.
$378,000? I'm ready to, I just want to see this thing. 378K, come on.
Is that a lot? Is that a little?
$378,000, is that a lot?
But is that like to build the game or to buy the game?
Okay, I don't know. I don't know. I would assume.
Because I don't think that's a big. I don't
No,
know.
if you're building a game, obviously.
That's not a big budget, but if
But
that's
if that's something like that you could purchase.
money, it says money spent on a game. So that means somebody spent $378,000 on a game. Jim, you've blown our minds. Sokoyev says, my wife really had a kick out of watching Dave ride. It was a sight to behold.
Yeah.
You ain't kidding.
There we go.
The whole thing is on the stream. So while Dave only showed you a small chunk of it,
It wasn't getting any better.
it did get better. The
The problem
second
is-
shot was better.
Yeah, it's a sight to behold, not for the reason that I would like it to be, you know? Because I look like Kevin Costner by the board.
In your mind, you do.
No, not even now, because I've seen it, what it looked like.
It was not like Kevin Costner.
And we were shattered.
Yeah.
Now I finally realize why nobody offered me big money to be in a movie.
Do you know that you've never actually seen me ride a horse in real life?
Okay.
When? Not.
You know what? We're just over an hour, and I got this one in. We watched it from beginning to end. Basically, just took this pose and reversed it, flipped it, drew it small at quarter scale, and or quarter of its scale, and yeah. I mean, that's basically it. I think the big part of walking away from this and seeing it, and something that I'm actually interested in actually now drawing, now that I've drawn this, and that's kind of the thing that I always talk about, is like the reason to do these studies is to find out the things that you're not thinking of immediately. You know, if this one here is the original sketch that I'm working from, or the original study or thing that I'm looking at, you can look at it and be like, oh, okay, I get it, right? Because we're all so smart. And then you go in to draw it, and you're like, okay, like it's all good, it's all cool. Let me draw from behind just to do it, because you know I have space to kill on this page. So what to do if I already feel like I know everything? Draw from behind and see what I get. And the most important part, or the most interesting part out of all of this to me, is literally where the sleeves come into play here. And kind of what I discovered and what I went for is that these sleeves that are like flowy and wrapping around her arm and twisting come out from her neck piece, meaning they start here from the front, and kind of like a Superman or Batman's cape, how they kind of like they're pinned onto their chest and then they flow backwards. Think of it like that, but coming out of the neck piece, so the rest of the cape, or you know, these sleeves slash capes are coming out from being pinned to the bottom of her necklace thing, whatever you want to call it, and then wrapping around the shoulders, you know, wrapping behind the shoulders around the arm, and then becoming this flowy thing. So it goes from the neck around the shoulder, and then just becomes a flowy sleeve. So yeah, and something else is, you know, drawing this, now that I know that this is a separate piece like that, and you know, I make this up, this might not be the intention of the original artist, but that's the whole point of this, isn't to get into that artist's head necessarily, but to get into my own head. These things could flow, and then they're underneath this cape sleeve apparatus going on, and continues down the arm, which means that these are flowing, and then they wrap behind, and then continue down the arm. Same thing here, goes down here, flows behind her body, and then down her side. We just don't see it from this angle. So yeah, that's something that could be happening here, and I would have never really been able to put that together. Could I imagine it? Yeah, but like seeing it this way kind of really cements that idea. And it's these sort of things that give me the benefit of having, you know, of working on this. So yeah, man, totally cool, totally worth it. And yeah, man, just I want to thank y'all for watching this video. I'll be back in a little bit to like I said, work on the thing that I want to, which is kind of her face, and zooming in on the necklace piece. And then obviously, if there's more ideas, like maybe capturing the sides and the back, the profile and the back of this whole cape thing that I'm just now talking about on these extra open spaces, that could definitely be a thing that we do in the next videos. So I want to thank you all again for watching. I'm G Mr. Drew, at G Mr. Drew on all socials. Follow, like, and subscribe. Those links are in my bio, along with my website, gmrdrew.art. Check that out. I got anything and everything that I work on there, as far as like portfolios, sketchbooks, merch stores, all that stuff. And links to everything. All those links are in my bio. All those links are in my website. Hit me up through my website if you want. And yeah, man, that's it. Just thanks for watching. Love y'all. Peace.